Hello everyone, welcome to Everything Arsenal. Breaking news, Benjamin Cesco has agreed to join Arsenal and the Gunners are lining up a £45 million deal. Will that deal go through before the Euros? We heard that Arsenal are trying to get that deal done before the Euros. He's actually going to play in the same group as the likes of England, so we will get to see a lot of him at the Euros. And will he be an Arsenal player by the time he actually takes on England at those Euros? So here's the news from John Cross of the Mirror. Benjamin Cesco said yes to Arsenal. Arsenal are raiding a £45 million deal for the Slovenian international. As I say, they're going to be in the same group as England. I think Denmark and another team that I've forgotten. And the exclusive was from the Mirror, and this is what they had to say. Benjamin Cesco says yes to Arsenal transfer as Ghana's lineup £45 million deal for RB Leipzig forward. So I notice a lot of people are usually like, oh, do we trust this source and all that? John Cross of the Mirror has been very accurate with a lot of the deals the last couple of years. So it's definitely someone that you can trust alongside the likes of obviously Sami Mokbel and Fabrizio and David Onstin and all those guys. But let me read the article that they wrote about Benjamin Cesco. Benjamin Cesco favors a move to Arsenal. RB Leipzig striker Cesco is being courted by a host of clubs, including Arsenal, Chelsea, and Man United, while there is strong interest from Italy. But Arsenal now appear to be in pole position for the £45 million rated forward, as the Slovenia international prefers a move to the Emirates after finding himself at the center of a transfer battle. That is a huge boost for the Gunners, with Mikel Arteta eyeing a young striker who can develop and work in tandem with Kai Havertz, who was a revelation for Arsenal last season. His agent Elvis has been to Arsenal matches this season, and Cesco, who turns 21 on Friday, would fit the bill. RB Leipzig are prepared to sell this summer if they can broker the right deal, even though he has only been with them for the past year, but has been within the same family of clubs, having joined Red Bull Salzburg in 2019. Cesco is in the Slovenia squad for the Euros, and they will face England in the group stages at the tournament in Germany this summer. He is 6'5", has a good goal record, and is not the only name on Arsenal's shortlist, but they have been tracking and scouting him all season. So we'll come to the rest of it. We scout players for a long time. As Edu said the other day, they look at like 180 pages of a player before they get to sign to make the deal. That's why, like, when a team like a Timber gets injured at the beginning of the season, we can't just go and buy another player, because they have like detailed analysis on particular players, and they have to take some time to talk to them and to find out if they're fitting in at Arsenal and all that. Now, Benjamin Cesco, as you're saying, he's 6'5", quite tall. He's very good at headers. He can run in behind the through balls, and his finishing is really good. Obviously, he's still 20 years of age, turning 21 now. Okay, 21 is tomorrow is Friday, so let's just say he's 21 now, and he still has some raw qualities, some things that can still be worked on. That is absolutely spot on. Now, as I've always said, my actual striker that I would have wanted if I was to choose anyone would be Watkins. From the players that you've been linked to, I would go for Gyökeres. But those deals are looking very impossible. Gyökeres would cost 100 million. I don't know if we'd go for that. Isaac, they want like 180 million. Impossible. And Watkins would probably be more than 100 million as well. So what is the next level after that? 55, 60, 70 million. It depends on what we want to do this season in terms of the transfer market. Let's say we have 150 million. I'd like to know what you guys would do with it. 150 million. Would you rather go and spend 110 million on a striker and then 40 million on a midfield, and then that's it? Two star signings, that's it. You stay without a backup for Saka. You stay maybe with the Karl Heinz, or get another goalkeeper on loan or something if Ramsey leaves. Or you have the option of spreading that money. You get a 40 million striker, and then you get a 25 million backup winger, and then you get a 40 million midfielder, and then maybe get a 15 million defender and a 10 million goalkeeper. There's that option of spreading it as well. And from what I've heard from almost all the Arsenal fans, and the next topic we're going to talk about in this video in terms of what Arteta wants, it looks like we want several positions. There's fans who want a new left back. There's fans who want a backup left back because they feel like Gabriel and Silva need to be rested sometimes. Some people want another goalkeeper. Ramsey looks like he's going to leave. Obviously, some people want a backup for Odegaard. Some people feel like Vieira and Smith Rowe should leave. Other people want a backup for Saka. Other people even want an improvement on Martinelli and Trossard on the left side, someone like a Leao. Now, if you go for that, it's impossible to also go for a 100 million striker. It is very impossible. So you have to choose what you want in that transfer window. Now, Benjamin Cesco, in terms of coming and starting every single game, I don't think he does that. If it was like a Gyökeres or Isaac, I think they come in and they play every single game, and they want to start every single game, and the kind of output they have on the pitch, they play every single game. But Cesco, what the Cesco signing allows you to do is to save money for other positions, and then number two, he fits the age bracket, and then number three, he can rotate with Havertz, because Havertz is not going to drop to the bench next season, because I've had a lot of people saying get a striker and then Havertz on the bench next season. No, he's still going to play. Yes, some games he could be rotated, some games it could be moved back to midfield and then play next to Odegaard and then have a striker up front, or maybe even have a front two for a few minutes and then you have Odegaard right in behind them, and Cesco gives you something different. Now, I'll keep on saying I definitely want a striker, but because we need to keep on improving, and I don't feel like there's too many positions in our team that we can keep on improving. I think Odegaard is the best. I think Saliba is the best. I think Saka is the best in those positions. I don't think there's too many players we can improve on in terms of that positions. But one that you can look at in terms of a player that you've never really had is an out-and-out striker. Like since Aubameyang, we never really had an out-and-out striker. And even Aubameyang used to play like on the wing for the last couple of years of his Arsenal career. So there's that as well. So out-and-out striker was just going to play as a centre forward like Haaland, just centre forward, score goals. You've not really had that. That's why I'm like, if you get like a Gyökeres or even a Cesco, we've never really had that kind of caliber of a player in terms of just someone who wants to say the center and just score goals. It would be something different in the team. That's why I'd be able to say, you know what, he's going to bring something different to the team, the power and the running in behind. We've seen a lot of through balls in behind in our team. Not that many, but in terms of the ones who've gotten chances like Trossard, like Havertz, like Saka, we've been through one-on-one a lot of times, even Martinelli. But most of the times, we'd even say at least 50% of the times we end up missing the chance. So maybe those chances fall to Cesco, whether he's 15 years of age or 38, maybe he does score those chances. So we have to look at it that way. Now, would he excite all the Arsenal fans? Probably not, but maybe if comes and probably comes in and does the job, because I remember Ben White did not really excite Arsenal fans. Tomiyasu didn't really excite Arsenal fans. Odegaard didn't excite Arsenal fans. Trossard didn't excite too many Arsenal fans, but they came in and they've done the job. So maybe Cesco comes in and does the job. But if I was to sign a striker, I'd still probably go for Gyökeres and then divide the other 50 million or whatever. I don't know how much our budget will be this summer transfer window. We have to wait and see. Now, in terms of headers as well, he's very tall and he's very good at headers. Maybe you're also looking at it like we can put in some crosses to the box. And in terms of corners and free kicks, now we are going to get to a point where you rather give Arsenal a penalty than corner or free kick, because Gabriel, Saliba, you sometimes Declan Rice in the box, Havertz in the box, and then you add Benjamin Cesco to that, Ben White and all that. People will be in trouble. There's Kivio, there's all those guys that can score headers. Maybe you're looking at that as well. But I think the main reason why you're looking at him, two reasons, is the age and also the fee. I think if Gyökeres was the same money as Cesco, they probably would also maybe lean towards Gyökeres, but you never know, because they've been looking at this player for a long time. It's very tough to know what Edu and Arteta want in terms of that. They also say in the article, Arsenal also like Ajax striker Brobbey. Now, if it's between Brobbey and Cesco, I'd pick Cesco for sure. Brighton's Evan Ferguson has been linked, and Newcastle's Alexander Isak is also on Arsenal's radar. Arsenal are likely to make a superstar signing this summer, but are in the market for an up-and-coming number 9 and a winger, while they may move for a midfielder if Thomas Partey ends up departing. They will have cash to spend, but Arsenal are expecting departures with Aaron Ramsdale, Edin Ketia, Reece Nelson, and Elmin Smith-Rowe potential exits, while Bayern Munich are also watching developments on Alexander Zinchenko. So there's a lot that will go on in this transfer window. I feel like this is going to be a very busy transfer window, but it's looking like Benjamin Cesco could be the deal. And the way we like doing deals very early, it could very well happen before the Euros. We are now almost 14 days away. I'd not be surprised if it happens very soon. But maybe the reason they're going for a cheaper kind of striker is mainly because we also need to sort out other positions. And as Gary Jacob has reported, Mikel Arteta would like a squad of 20 outfield players in addition to goalkeepers. He wants to add a defender, central midfielder, a forward, and a cover on the right wing for Bukayo Saka. The expectation is that he will move for younger players such as Benjamin Cesco. So if he wants all those positions, and a lot of you would agree. I think many people want a midfielder, many people want a forward, many people want a backup for Saka, and many people want a defender as well in terms of maybe a left back or a centre back. So if you want all those positions, you probably cannot go and buy Gyökeres and Isak, depending on the budget that we have. You also need to be careful in terms of FFP. You don't want to get ourselves into trouble where we're getting deducted points or we have charges like Man City. No, we are waiting for them to get charged. You don't want to also wait for us to get charged. We don't want to get ourselves into that position. So in terms of if you spread that money, if you give 45 million to Leipzig for Cesco and you had like maybe 150 million budget, all of a sudden you have 105 million remaining, and you can spread that amongst 3 positions: a winger, a defender, and a central midfielder. Now in that situation, you can even tempt a 60 million midfielder, a very good 60 million midfielder, and spread that in terms of defender or winger and in terms of cheaper deals. Now, the video we've done with Cozy today is about to post. We talked about our dream signings and talked about a few wingers and a few players that we'd like to buy, the cheaper ones and all that in the dream signings. And today's a later video today, I'm talking about the positions I think Arsenal should sort out. And it's not too different from this. I feel like we sort out these positions, we're in a very, very good place, a very, very good place. And the midfielders we've been linked to the likes of Zubimendi and the likes of Bruno Guimaraes and Douglas Luiz. I think if you get Zubimendi and you also get Cesco, you have a lot of money still to spend. And if you sell maybe around there, or as I said, Zinchenko is linked to Bayern Munich, however you're going to do it. Personally, I want all 7 defenders to stay and focus on getting a winger, forward, and a midfielder. And then obviously if Ramsey leaves, you get a cheaper goalkeeper to back up Araya. We're linked to the Feyenoord goalkeeper and all that. I think that would sort out our team. Personally, I feel like we need 3 signings, but it's looking like we're looking for 4 signings. So this season, they're going for 20 outfield players. Both Arteta and Guardiola don't like a lot of players in terms of the squad. They don't want 26, 28 players. They don't want that at all. So actually hearing 20 players, that sounds a lot, because usually it's like we have the 11 players playing. And then if you look at the bench, Martinelli coming on, Jesus coming on, Jorginho coming on, Esquivio coming on. It's like 15, 16 players who always play. It's not too many. And then obviously you have the others on the bench that sometimes they play, sometimes they don't, like Nketiah and a Smith Rowe and a Vieira and a Nelson. I'm sure if you ask like an Arteta or a Guardiola, like how many players would you want in your team? If there was like only Premier League 38 games in a season, they would even say 15 players is enough. I think they really want they would like to balance the squad. They want to keep it consistent and all that. They don't want too many players. Like at Chelsea 2 seasons ago, they had like 40 players. Now I would not want that at all. But I'm even surprised that he wants 20 outfield players. But I think that is what we need in terms of numbers as well. I feel the likes of Odegaard and Rice and Saliba, they play too much, especially in some games that you don't really need them. Some games you're already 3-0 up, but you look at the bench, you don't really have anyone else to bring. So it's going to be an interesting one, man. It's going to be an interesting one for me. I'm happy to take a striker that we don't have the qualities already at Arsenal. So if you bring for me Gyökeres, I'd be happy. If you bring for me Isak, I'd be happy. And if Cesco is all we can get, I'd rather get Cesco than not get anyone. He'll bring the goals. He had a very good record, especially this year in terms of January to May. 13 games, 13 goal contributions, I think 11 goals and 2 assists. So he knows where the goal is. He definitely knows where the goal is. He probably scores those one-on-one chances that have dropped to Trossard and Saka and Havertz and all those guys. He probably scores them. He maybe gets at the end of a couple of headers that Jesus has missed. So I think it's rather you have him than having no one else. And for 45 million, a sort-out striker, as we've been told, is being linked to where those teams again. I think Man United, Chelsea as well, and a strong interest from Italy as well. So he's a player who's liked by a lot of teams, and you can see why. Now, he's still young, he's still raw, just turning 21. But for me, I'm always confident whichever player joins Arsenal right now, with the team that we have, with the managerial team that we have, not only just Arteta, the assistant manager, the set-piece coach, all that, I think you just come to Arsenal and you automatically improve. So for me, I'm happy. I'm happy with that. Just get a striker in. It's something that you don't have. So at Sesco, we don't have a Sesco at Arsenal. Whether it's 14 years of age or whether it's 50 years of age, you don't have someone like a Sesco at Arsenal. And but let me know, what would you do? Would you spread the money, 45 million for a striker, 30 million for a winger, 30 million for a midfielder, or would you rather go and spend 100 million on a striker and then the 50 million you divide it for the 3 positions? What would you do? Thank you for watching, and I'll catch up with you guys on the next one.